Imagine that you're at the end of a very long workday. You're staring at your to-do list, and even though you've ticked off certain tasks, it still feels like no matter how hard you work, that nothing is ever enough. I'm here to tell you that you are not alone. I am literally the queen at overloading my to-do list with things I know that need to get done, but only to end up feeling like I'm spinning my wheels and like I did a lot, but at the same time, nothing at all. In this video, we are going to be talking about how to actually be productive without getting burnt out. And these are all the things that I have personally implemented, and my productivity has completely skyrocketed. I feel like I have way more time and I'm actually hitting my goals. And I promise you, if you stick around until the end and actually implement all of these things, it will change your life. You will become more productive than you ever have been. I do feel like there is quite a hustle culture painted around productivity, but really the one thing that you need to realize with productivity, and is a reason that I've personally burnt out in the past, is that it's not about how much you can get done. It's really the efficiency and at the level of quality that you get something done. Really, productivity needs to come down to quality over quantity. This is going to be the mindset shift that you really have to make to get out of that feeling of whatever you do isn't enough. Because even if you're doing less, if you're doing each task at the highest, most efficient level, your ROI from those tasks is going to be that much more. And as humans, we are only happy if we are making progress. That's almost like our affirmation to ourselves that what we're doing is actually good. It's just really hard sometimes to keep going whenever you aren't seeing immediate progress. So it's incredibly crucial that no matter what you're doing, you want to focus on the things that are actually going to move the needle forward. That way you're seeing progress no matter how small it is, and that's just going to keep giving you momentum to keep going. Now you're probably saying, Michaela, everything I write on my to-do list is important. It all has to get done, and I'm balancing so much between being a mom, having family obligations, and keeping up with your homework. If you are building a business, keeping up with building that business. I know for me, it's building this YouTube channel. It's being a real estate agent and giving my clients all of me so that they can achieve their dream home, giving myself to all of you so that you actually are inspired and I can make a difference in your life and help you achieve your dream life. And also my personal, self-care with reading and spending time with my kitties and my family. There's so much, and not to mention housekeeping. You want to keep your space clean. You want to keep your laundry done. You want to keep your space in a manner that is, tidy enough for you to actually think clearly. I know I do, and it feels like every day it spirals out of control, even though the day before I cleaned or I tidied or whatever. It's a constant battle. I understand. And these are going to be tips that are going to help you manage all of that. And this first one is one that I could not live without. Okay, if you do this, this is going to set the foundation to be able to execute other things correctly, because this is going to free up so much mental space. And that is to create a capture system. So this is my journal that I use for my capture system. You don't need a fancy schmancy journal. You can literally get a piece of paper, you can get a sticky note, whatever it is, but basically you need a brain dump of everything in your head. You can even keep it in your notes app on your phone. Like, you just need a brain dump spot. So whenever you have all of these things floating around in your head, taking up so much mental real estate, stressing you out, and popping in your head at the most inconvenient times, you have somewhere to dump those things. That is what this is for me. I will link this down below if you also want a journal for that reason. It has numbered pages, has a table of contents. This capture system is going to alleviate so much stress from you. This is going to be a place where you write down every single thing that you have to get done. Whether it's your self-care, whether it is for work, building your business, for your kids, for school, it goes here. This is where you're going to basically create a master to-do list. So what I love to do is I love to just take my little journal here and just write everything down. I do like to categorize it, but you don't have to. It does help, I feel like, to categorize things so that you can really put them into more bite-sized action steps. But the important thing is to just get all of those things out of your head. And whenever you do choose where to put this master to-do list or to do these brain dumps, make sure you're picking somewhere you're actually going to go back and see it. So don't go write it down and then never go look at it again, because that's not going to help anybody. Whenever I am creating my to-do list for each day, I will pull this out and pull from that master to-do list and figure out what I can do that day. Don't put things down just because you feel the pressure to get them done. Put them down because they're actually going to move the needle forward. It is so important to make sure you are very realistic and very selective about what you put on your to-do list from this brain dump so that you don't get overwhelmed. Overwhelm leads to burnout, which leads to inaction. Inaction then leads to stress, and then reverting back to old habits, and therefore not creating the life that you want or taking any single step towards it. Life will continue to feel like a never-ending cycle of little bursts of productivity until you get burnt out again, until the next burst of productivity comes back. You don't want that. So it is so important to be selective on how you make your to-do lists. But that is my favorite way to do it, honestly, because it keeps my mental space clear and it keeps me feeling more stress-free because I have everything that's in my head and floating around on paper. I can go see all of it and I'm knocking it out daily, one hit in one day at a time, because that's what my daily to-do lists are being pulled from. And what is really going to help you knock out each task is to change your focus. A lot of the resistance comes from thinking about everything that we have to do. So you really need to focus on the outcome and what it means to you. For example, instead of thinking about how tired you are when you get out of bed in the morning and how you're so exhausted and don't feel like going to the gym, focus on how strong and energized you're going to feel and how proud of yourself you're going to feel after a really good workout. Knowing you push through being tired, you push through that resistance because you know how important the outcome is and how amazing it makes you feel. Think about that end result and how it's going to benefit you. And if you can do that, that is going to help you keep your word to yourself and therefore even build your self-confidence and your belief in yourself so much more. I went through a period of time where I would write all these to-do lists and things I needed to get done and not complete any of it. And I just lost so much faith in myself because I didn't trust myself when I said to myself I was going to do something. Like, if I said I was going to wake up at 6 a.m., I would hear that little voice in my head be like, no, you're not. You didn't today. You said that for the last 3 days and you've yet to wake up at 6. You know, so little things like that, like you have to really make sure you're keeping your word to yourself. And by focusing on the outcome of the things you have to do instead of focusing on the task and the work you have to put into that task itself, that is going to make the biggest difference for you because you're going to push for that outcome. You're going to get that outcome and your return on your energy is going to be tenfold. Now that you have figured out how to effectively make your to-do list and how to focus on the outcome of each task instead of the task itself, this next step is crucial into making sure that you're actually staying productive and not getting burnt out, and that is to create a planning system that works for you. It's not going to matter how many to-do lists that you make. If you're not planning and making time for these things, it's for naught. Because here's the thing, if you go around without a plan, you become a part of everyone else's plan. Whether it's your boss, your friends, your family, if you don't have a plan in place for yourself, you're gonna just drift. And that's something that I noticed, that is whenever I didn't have a plan, I would spend so much time just kind of, I guess, procrastinating in a way. It felt like I had things to do, but nothing was getting done. So my day ended up revolving around other things that did not push me towards my goals. So if you can have an effective planning system, it's going to keep you on track and keep you towards your plans and your goals and not everyone else's. This is going to help you so much in creating consistency and establishing routines. James Clear said it best in Atomic Habits. He said that you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And if you can have an effective planning system in place, you are going to achieve your goals so much quicker because you're going to have that clear vision. You're going to eliminate decision fatigue because you'll know what to do and when, and not be kind of meandering between tasks like, I don't really know what to do next. Or waking up and not having a to-do list, and which is even worse, drifting throughout your day and still not getting anything done. It's not going to be good enough to just make a to-do list if you don't have a plan to execute that to-do list. Before I started doing this, I would wake up and just kind of look around and be like, what should I do today? I have a lot I have to do. And I would think about all those things. I would get overwhelmed and then I wouldn't do any of them. And it was horrible. I would end the day and I knew I left things on the table. I finally had enough. That's whenever I created a planning system. This can be however works best for you. This can be a digital planner. I have a Notion as well along with my physical planner. You can have a whiteboard. You can use Google Calendar. I was watching a YouTube video the other day and they quoted Brian Tracy. He says that every minute spent planning saves 10 minutes in execution and gives 1,000% return on energy. Who wouldn't want 1,000% return on energy? By doing this, you're going to know at the end of every day when you lay your head on your pillow that you gave the day 110% and you didn't waste any time. This is gonna make you feel so accomplished and so proud of the progress that you've made, and you're gonna be able to stay consistent with this because you'll have developed a system that you can easily stick to. Something else that's incredibly important in not getting burnt out is to wake up and slay your dragons. Now, what I mean by this is you want to take that to-do list that you've made for the day and you're gonna knock out the most difficult thing first. Think about this for a second. If you have something that you know is going to be difficult, it's going to be time consuming. How do you feel whenever you still have that thing just kind of hanging over you to do? You feel heavy. You probably have a little turning pit in your tummy if you're anything like me. And honestly, it makes it harder to focus on other things because you're so focused and almost worried about getting that other thing done. This would happen to me all of the time. If there was a task that I knew I was not looking forward to very much, or I knew it was going to take it out of me, essentially, I wanted that thing done, okay? I wanted it off of my plate. By knocking out the most difficult task first, it's going to set your day on such a positive note, and you're able to take the momentum from that and carry it out through the rest of your tasks. And it's going to honestly make them feel a lot easier. And by not having that one daunting thing taking away your mental energy and keeping you stressed out about doing it, you're going to do those other tasks much more efficiently because you can give them your full focus. When you are going throughout your to-do list, make sure to always set your timer. This has significantly boosted my productivity. I would spend like an hour or two doing something that could have taken me 30 minutes because I would do a little bit of it, I'd get bored, end up scrolling, and then I would realize a lot of time had passed and I'd be like, oh crap, I need to get back to this, and then I would get distracted again. And I just wasted so much time. Versus if you set the timer, put it up where you can see it, and put yourself on that time tension, you're going to have a fire lit under your booty, okay? You are gonna wanna get that thing done, and it's gonna help you see exactly how long something takes you, because I guarantee you, if you write down stuff on your to-do list, you think that a lot of those things, probably 98% of those things, are gonna take longer than what they actually do. So if you can set a certain time limit for yourself and see if you can get it done within that time frame, I promise you, you can, but it is going to help you get things done so much quicker. It's gonna help you manage your time And it is just gonna make you feel so good once you get things done within that time frame, because like I said, you're gonna realize how much time you're actually saving. It's also gonna help you from overworking on a task. If you're a perfectionist like me, it's gonna make sure you're not spending too much time on one thing, and make sure that you're actually allocating your time in an effective way for each task, and not just so much on one thing that it diminishes the return you're actually going to get, which by holding you accountable for your time is going to help you manage your time, which in turn will give you more free time because you'll be so much more focused on the task at hand. You'll get it done quicker, you'll get it done better, and you're going to feel so good to be done with it. It's going to feel accomplishing, and you're going to be able to actually just enjoy the rest of your day because you've done everything you needed to do that day, because you did it with full force, got it done. You just have had a very productive day and you didn't leave anything on the table. Time, I feel like, can be a very hard thing for us to manage, and a big reason a lot of people do burn out. But if you're able to manage it effectively, you can actually create more time, which kind of sounds a little crazy, but it's true. Of all of the tips in this video, this one is something that has made the absolute biggest difference in my level of productivity and not getting burnt out, and that is having a morning routine. Your morning routine is so important because it literally sets the tone for your day. So my morning routine used to be very lethargic, very sluggish, and did not fuel me at all. I would wake up later than I wanted to, go immediately to my coffee, basically go into like rot mode between scrolling and just laying in bed longer, getting dressed later, and just not showing up as my best self, not working out, not having a healthy breakfast, not reading things that actually fed my brain and put myself in a good headspace, just really affected my entire day. My whole day felt sluggish, it felt scattered, just was not allowing me to show up as my best self, to be the most efficient and most productive and highest vibe that I could possibly be. Really make sure that you can create a routine in the morning that is going to excite you to wake up and make you feel like you're in a really good headspace to take on the work you have to that day. Incorporate things that make you feel good, whether it's reading, stretching, going outside, working out, meditating, whatever it is that puts you in a really good headspace and on a positive note, to where you feel like you have a good, productive start to the day that can carry on throughout the rest of your day. That is what you need to do. Because if you're at a higher vibration, you're gonna put in higher quality work, which in turn is going to get you higher results and push you closer towards your goals. So I cannot stress the importance enough of a morning routine, because that has made a major difference in my productivity. You also wanna batch similar tasks. This is going to help you with your energy output so much. So you wanna take certain tasks that are very similar and batch them together. So for instance, if you have some errands that you need to run, maybe try to run them all in one day and plan an effective route to run them in. That way you're not running around all over town. You can already get things done while you're out so you don't have to leave later. Or another example could be if you're a fellow content creator, maybe scripting videos, script 2 to 3 in one sitting. Or if you're planning time to film, maybe batch filming so you can stay in that filming flow. So if you're able to batch certain tasks together, it's going to keep you from having that mental cost of switching so dramatically. Because if you're going from writing emails to a more creative task and then back to writing more emails, it's hard to make that switch, and it can cost you more energy. So if you can just go ahead, knock out all of your emails, knock out all of the admin work you have to do, and then go run your errands or go put in that creative work, you don't have to make that shift. By batching your tasks, you can focus on this one type of work for that much longer because you're not having to change your mental approach to each task. And while it is incredibly important to get work tasks done and to be productive, it's also very important to schedule downtime. Productivity is not about going non-stop. You don't want to keep going and going and going until you burn out. Your downtime is going to help you rest and recharge so you can show up for your to-do list and show up for you in an energized and a happy way, because you'll have given yourself the recharge and the reboot that you know that you needed. And that's going to help you work more efficiently, it's going to help you focus better, and it's going to keep you in a much better headspace. I know for me that if I don't make time to read, if I don't make time to go outside, to go work out, I go crazy, okay? I get so grumpy and I start complaining, and it's just my work isn't as good because I feel disconnected from it. I make sure that I make time to read my books. I make time to go outside. I make time to watch movies with Cooper. I make time to cuddle with my cats, because those are the things that helped me feel rested and feel recharged to where I can show up to my work and execute at an even higher level, because I am at a higher vibration, because I've taken care of myself. Plus, it gives your brain a break. It helps you think more creatively, and it helps with your problem solving skills because you've given that time away from your work. You have to step away from these productive tasks sometimes to get that mental clarity. This can help you get some new ideas and maybe even new perspectives that you didn't have before. And this is obviously key for your overall well-being. We're not here to just work until we die. You need to actually enjoy your life, and making sure you're scheduling in that downtime and taking care of yourself is one of the most important tips in this entire video, because that's going to reflect how you show up and how you're enjoying your life, because none of this matters if you're not enjoying your life. If you're not doing any of this in joy, you're not gonna ever get the results that you want from any of this. So make sure you're scheduling your downtime and you're taking care of yourself. It's hard sometimes for people like me because it can feel so counterproductive, because you're not doing something actively towards your goals, but taking care of yourself is the most important thing you can do. That's the one thing with social media, is I don't believe in this hustle culture. I don't believe in being so productive that you wear yourself out. It's just not enjoyable. That's not what life is. And I'm not saying there aren't seasons where that's called for, but overall, you want to make sure that you're actually giving yourself the time to do the things that you love and that you enjoy. All right, you guys, so that is going to wrap up today's video on how to stay productive without burning out. I really hope you got some good insights from this video and that it was really helpful to you, especially if you're struggling with burnout and being productive. I know it can be a finicky balance and it can be hard sometimes, but just know you're not alone. And again, I hope this video was super helpful to you. And if you have any tips of your own, make sure to leave them in the comments down below. And if you did enjoy this video and it did help you out, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe down below so that I know you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here. It truly means the world to me, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye!